Hey everyone, Kevin Lewis with Home Life Benchmark Titus Realty, and it's time for your September 2023 Fraser Valley Real Estate Market Update. August 2023 really didn't have too much of a surprise when it comes to the total sales numbers as well as the new listings and the prices and the way they changed. With just over 1,200 sales for the month in the Fraser Valley, we finished about 17% below the 10-year average for the month of August. Now, as I said, it's really not that surprising that sales were as low as they were, considering the conditions that we've seen in the market over the last couple of months. Generally, summer months are going to be the slower months of the year anyways, as a lot of buyers and sellers would rather put their feet up and enjoy the weather while we have it here, and while the kids are off school and they want to spend time with family and stuff. So September does typically see things pick up either mid-September or early October is when we tend to see the market pick up a little bit more. So again, it's really not all that surprising to see August with the lower number of sales that we saw. We did, however, see 7% fewer sales than July, which again is pretty typical to see fewer sales in August than in July. But we did see 25% more sales in August 2023 than we saw in August 2022. Again, this really isn't a surprise, as August 2022 was quite a slow year due to the whole year of 2022 constantly raising interest rates. Speaking of interest rates, that's another reason why it's really not all that surprising that August was a relatively slower month. As we know, back in June and July of 2023, just a couple months ago, we did have two more rate increases, putting our interest rate up to 5% for the Bank of Canada. Now, September 6th, we did see that rate pause. As we've touched on many times in these videos before, when interest rates go up, activity tends to slow down and prices generally start to come down. However, that was a string of interest increases over several months. The last two were just two in a row. And the most recent one, which is today, the day I'm ready doing this video on September 6th, we actually saw the Bank of Canada say, no, they're not going to raise rates for this term. So we'll have to see what comes up in the next couple of months as far as interest rates. But if they do hold steady, then we can probably expect activity in the area to start to pick up a little bit more sales, and see prices start to teeter upwards a little. If, however, they do decide to raise the rates again as they try to curb inflation and everything, we would likely start to see the market start to fall a little bit more in price that we've seen, and the activity stay on the lower end of things as buyers want to wait for the interest rates to stabilize and have a better idea of what's to come into the future. Again, on the topic of interest rates, we just saw in January 2023, the first month that they held the rate steady, we did start to see prices begin to creep up in that month. So with the recent prices just peaking over in August being the first month of prices coming down with two rate increases, this recent hold, September and October are going to be key months to see what the future holds, of course, because if rates hold and prices stay stable or they continue to drop, that's a sign that the market itself is reacting and coming down. However, I think if rates do hold, we're going to see prices pretty much stay level for the month of September. And if they hold for the next rate, we might see them start to creep up in October. Of course, if prices do start to come down or interest rates start to come down, we'll certainly see prices go up, 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 and activity is going to pick up like crazy. I don't think that the bank's quite ready to do any decreases in the interest rates, and probably not in 2023, and who knows in 2024. That's not what I do. I'm not here to make predictions on what the Bank of Canada is going to do on interest rates, just to give you the information of what's likely to happen in the market in different scenarios. With 22 out of every 100 homes selling for the month of August, we are technically still in a seller's market. However, detached homes were only at 16 out of every 100 homes selling, which puts us in a balanced market for detached homes. Being in a balanced market or a seller's market, it does make a difference on the overall feel of things. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't make a huge difference whether it's the right time to sell or right time to buy, depending on your situation. If you're just looking to buy, I wouldn't say the market's putting a ton of pressure on you. However, we do have to note what I said earlier and pay attention to what's happening with the interest rates and see what the average sentiment for buyers happens to be through the month of September. As I said, January 2023, when we saw interest rates hold for the first time after the first group of increases, we did start to see prices slowly going up. So whether or not they're going to continue to go up this term or whether they stay stable, I don't think it's going to go up at any sort of a fast rate or anything like that. So I think buyers will have some time to take everything in and really make sure that they're making the right decision on the home that they want to purchase. And of course, I wouldn't be responsible if I didn't say that it's certainly possible that rates do continue to go up. Again, I don't know what the Bank of Canada is going to do. I only look at what they have done and what the whole situation is. Currently, a lot of the economists are kind of in the air whether they're going to hold steady at the 5% or if they're going to continue to increase. If you're looking to buy or sell your current home and upgrade to a bigger home, just similar sentiment to what I'm saying as far as buyers only, as you're going to be probably taking on a larger mortgage depending on your situation. If you have a whole bunch of equity in your home and you're not really going to be taking on that much larger of a mortgage, you might be at a good time to buy and sell. And again, the best time for buying and selling is when it makes sense for you and your family to do that. You can try to time the market, but a lot of the times it really doesn't make a big difference if you're going to be selling your home and then buying your next home very shortly after with the same funds. Now, if you're just looking to sell, it's pretty similar situation. I certainly wouldn't say it's a bad time to sell. It may take a little bit longer to get an offer on your home, but we do have to price it properly. If you're overpricing your home right now, you're not going to sell. It's pretty simple that way. But if you are looking to sell in the near future, again, I wouldn't say there's a lot of pressure either way, depending on what happens in the next couple of months, especially with interest rates. If we see interest rates go up again, your bottom line is going to suffer and you're going to see prices start to come down, which means that you're going to sell for less money. However, if interest rates hold steady and prices start to creep up a little bit, then waiting is going to net you probably more money as well, depending on how much your mortgage payments currently are. And of course, if and when the interest rates do come down, again, I'm predicting that we're going to see prices jump up quite a bit. So if you can hold until that point, which the problem with that is we don't know when that's going to be, and you're only selling, I'm talking, that would be the best time to wait for. But again, that could be a couple months. It could be a couple years. We just simply don't know. And it's all going to depend on how our economy reacts. Overall, it's certainly not a bad time to make a move happen. And as I've said already once today, and I'll say it again a million times, the best time to make a move happen is when it makes sense for you and your family to make that move. It's as simple as that. As far as investment, yeah, we want to time things a little bit. You don't want to necessarily buy at the peak and then sell at a loss. However, real estate doesn't generally work that way. If you're holding any properties for a long time, you're typically going to see things go up. So if you're ready to make a purchase today, whether it's for yourself to live in, your first home, you're going to sell and upgrade, now's not a bad time to do so. Things do take a little bit longer, but again, if you're buying as well, that gives you more time on the buyer side of things. Let me know what you think. Leave me a comment below, send me an email, send me a text, 604-218-5635. I'm always happy to hear from you. And of course, if you are thinking of making a move in the near future, get in touch sooner than later so we can start making a plan together so that when you do get ready to make that move, it's going to be as stress-free as we possibly can make it. I look forward to hearing from you, and thanks for tuning in.